Hello, we are in Unit 3, Expressions and Properties. Right here we have an expression. We know this is an expression because there is no equal sign or no inequality symbol. This is a math phrase. 3x plus 5 does not have an equal sign or inequality symbol. It is consisting of terms. This has two terms, 3x and 5. An expression can have multiple terms or just one. When we look at 3x, we notice there is a variable x and a coefficient 3. The number in front of the variable is called the coefficient. The 5 in the expression 3x plus 5 is the constant. It doesn't change. This 5 is the constant. One way to remember something that doesn't change is the word constant. Think in science class, your constants are things that remain the same throughout the experiment. Your variable changes.
Ian Meeks, if you're in the building, please report to the clinic. Ian Meeks, if you're in the building, please report to the clinic. Thank you.
Before we evaluate expressions or even solve equations, we have to remember our order of operations. We have
Adriano Romero, if you're in the building, please come to the
brackets,
main office. Adriano Romero, if you're in the building,
absolute
please
value,
come to the main office.
our grouping. We have exponents, square, cube to the 4th power. We have to think multiplying and dividing at the same time and do the operations as they appear. The same for adding and subtracting. For our integers, we have to remember adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. When we subtract, we are really adding the opposite. When we multiply and divide, we can remember our little tic-tac-toe to remember a positive times a positive times a negative is a negative times a positive is a negative. However, two negatives make a positive. Our little tic-tac-toe board to remember that shortcut for integers. And when we know our order of operations and our integers, then we can evaluate expressions. So here's our first evaluating expressions problem. 3x plus 5, and then we want to find the values when we input 2, 1, 0, and negative 1. X is also known as an input. So the first thing that we are going to replace or substitute is our 2, and it is going to go for our our variable x. So that will be 3 times 2 plus 5, our constant. We do our order of operations, which would be 6 plus 5, which turns into 11. Let's try inputting a 1 for our variable. So we put in a 1, and let's evaluate. Let's use our order of operations. We multiply, we get 3 plus 5 is 8. Well, let's not stop there. Let's continue our table. If we input 0, that would be 3 times 0 plus 1. Our multiplicative property of 0 will get us 0. Add it with 1. Our identity property for addition, we will get 1. Oh my goodness. Just wanted to use all the properties. We get our multiplicative property of 0. We get 0. We add it with 5, which is our identity property. We get 5. And let's throw in negative 1. Alright, it's going to work the same way with negatives. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 plus 5 will be 2. And we notice we have completed our table. We have evaluated, we have substituted our variable 2, 1, 0, negative 1 and got our outputs 11, 8, 5, and 2. If we notice the change in our outputs, it is the same as our coefficient, which was 3. We'll talk more about that later. Alright, you tried the following. Pause the video and input 9 in the expression x divided by 3 plus 5. Then a challenge would be to solve for x. Think the inverse property for x divided by 3 plus 5 equals 7. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can evaluate and then solve for the values. Alright, welcome back. Let's put in 9 and then evaluate. Order of operations, we divide before we add. 9 divided by 3 is 3, plus 5 equals 8. There's our answer. For solving our next unit, we want to do the inverse. So the multiplicative inverse and the additive inverse. So we want to do reverse order of operations. If we knew what x was, we would divide, then add. But since we don't, we're going to subtract and then divide. And we'll talk more about this later. So then we multiply it by 3. And then x would equal 6. We check our work. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.